Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm pretty excited for this video because I'm going to be doing a first impression on the new Ofra and Francesca Tolot collaboration collection. I'm so sorry if I am butchering her name, but I am super excited to try everything out today. I was sent this PR package through Octoly. I was previously intrigued by the palette, but I'm on a low buy, so I passed. But I said I was curious about it, and then it popped up on my Octoly store, and I thought, what the heck, I would love to try that out. So I do have the package today with everything, so we are going to try out like the face palette, the lippies, yada yada. I don't know why I keep saying that. I'm just like kind of obsessed with saying yada yada right now. But anyways, this is what it looks like, and I thought, I don't know, this is so random, but whenever I saw this packaging, I was like, wow, this is so bulky and so ridiculous, because normally I try to take like PR packages and it's like whatever it is, I try to reuse it and use it for organization or storage or something, so that I'm not like, I don't know, I try to recycle it in my own way. And this, I was like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? But then I realized, like, because I'm like, it's just like half a box. Okay, if I can get the other one off. All right, I'll get the other one off in a second, but I feel like this would hold folders really well. Does this not kind of look like the folder holders that you like put on your desk and that holds things? I'm legit gonna try and use it like that because I feel like it would work. Or I could use it to store like really big palettes, like my Morphe ones or something. I don't know, I'm gonna figure out a way to like reuse this. Also, they just had to go ahead and throw Made with Love in the Sunshine State, which I'm a little bit offended by because I used to live in Florida, now I live in Pennsylvania, and I'm cold all the time. It's literally snowing right now. There's snow everywhere. I wish I was in the Sunshine State. Alright, so here is what the entire collection looks like. There is a eyeshadow palette, a face palette, and then there's 3 liquid lipsticks, and I believe that these all retail for, I think the face palette and the eyeshadow palette retails for like $49 each or something like that. I'll have to double check the lippies, but I remember like these are pretty high-end price point. I know Ofra always has coupon codes and whatnot. I think you can save like 30 or 20% off, something like that, but definitely expensive. And then they also included a little sample of their Oro liquid lipstick, which looks to be like a metallic gold. And then last but not least, if you did purchase this from Ofra online, I would be very curious to hear if you got this in your package or if it's like a PR thing. But they included this thing that says Infinite, and it's all like Francesca Tolot's work, and everything in here is so beautiful. Like, ooh, look at that highlight. Like, I feel definitely inspired looking through this. I think this looks really cool. Ooh, I like that eye look. And that one too. So I think that's a nice addition. Like, look at that. Like, that is just beautiful. So I do appreciate this being in here. Like, I wish that more brands did something like this. Again, I don't know if it's just a PR thing, but I feel like there's so many beautiful looks here, and oh my gosh, it's so inspiring. Alright, so this is the Gilded palette, which is all the face products, and here is what it looks like. So you've got a nice big mirror, and then there are 2 blushes, which look really pretty. I have not tried any blushes from Ofra yet, and then there are also 2 bronzers. Figure just swatch these really quick and see the blushes. I love a good glowy blush. There's the blushes. Super pigmented. And then here are the 2 bronzers. So probably going to end up using that one. It does have a nice sheen to it. And then this one, that has a little bit of a sheen to it too, but I think that one would probably be a little bit too deep for me, but this one looks nice. And I do personally like a bronzer with a sheen. I know a lot of people don't love that, but I feel like it just makes the skin look radiant, and I like the effect. And the eyeshadows are called the Infinite palette, which I love, like the little design on this one and the colors. It looks very fun. And then this is what the inside of the palette looks like. I don't think it's the most aesthetically pleasing like packaging, but it's nice that you are able to take these out and you could like move them around if you wanted to, or put them in like an empty palette, take it to go, whatever you wanted to do. You could kind of customize these shades, which is nice. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch these. We'll do the first row real quick. Okay, there's the pink shade, the orange shade, and the bright green. Looks a little bit sheer. And next we have like a shimmery, well, more of a like sheeny purple. The middle shade, which looks really beautiful. and then a like sheeny taupe looking shade. Ooh, that taupe actually looks like such a pretty like lavenderish purple shade. And then for the last row, there seems to be a matte black, a matte navy, that actually looks pretty, and then like a shimmery teal. Okay. So a lot of these are looking pretty sheer, and I'm very, very curious to see how they're going to apply on the eyes. They do look kind of like more grungy colors. It's definitely an interesting color scheme, and I have literally no idea what I'm going to be doing today, but I figure we can go ahead and just start. And I'm not going to swatch the lippies right now because I think I'm going to go ahead and try all three of them on my lips at the end. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start off with the orange shade right here. And I'm going to put that in my crease. That looks okay. Just going to blend it out. Literally have no idea what I'm doing, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take the pink shade next. Actually, I just realized the top row kind of reminds me of the stack from Melt Cosmetics. I can't remember what it's called though. Oh, Radioactive Stack. Kind of reminds me of that. I'm just going to put the pink a little bit lower down in the crease, mostly on the inner part. I'm going to go back in with a touch more of the orange over top just to blend out the edge. But I think that's actually kind of pretty blended together like that. Alright, so now I really want to go ahead and use this deep blue matte shade right here. And I'm going to use that on the outer V. Just building that up a little bit. I don't know if you can tell right here, but I did get some fallout from that shade. I'm going to take my blending brush and no additional product and just blend over the edge again. So I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of the pink and I'm just going to kind of blend it right here in between, just so it's not like a harsh line. Kind of going to make a pretty like purple mix in the middle. And I'm just picking up some more of the pink. I'm just going to kind of build that up a little bit, try and make it a little bit more vibrant, and going in with my blending brush. Just for the heck of it, I am going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of the black and put that in my outer V right here. That's actually pretty pigmented. Showed up easily. I only took a little tiny bit. I'm feeling like the colors take a little bit longer to build up and blend out, but I think that this color scheme is really pretty and I feel like it's inspiring me and I'm able to make it work. I do have the Bright Addictions palette, I think is what it's called, from Ofra, which I did a review on, which I can link down below in case you're curious. And I feel like the formula feels pretty much the same. Like, you kind of have to work into the skin more. Like, it's not my favorite eyeshadow formula, but you can get it to work for you. I think I did 3 looks with that as well. I like this black, though. It's like that perfect mixture of, like, it's pigmented enough to show up, but it's not too crazy to where you can't blend it out. I really want to do the purples on the lid, so I'm going to go ahead and take the deeper one on like the outer half of my lid, and then this light one, which is like a really pretty duochrome, the inner half. Yeah. The darker purple is definitely not exactly my kind of shimmer shade, just because it's very, like a satin, not a shimmer, basically. It is pigmented though. It's doing its job, but it's just, you could probably honestly end up using this and like use it as a matte because of it's not that shimmery at all. Now going into the lighter purple. Getting some fallout from these shades again. That's such a pretty purple though. But again, it like almost looks like it's a matte. I'm going to go with my small blending brush. Just blend out right there. I do really like this color scheme though. Like, I feel like it's colorful but grungy. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Okay, so I think I'm going to play with the greens and the blues on the lower lash line. So I'm going to put this on the like inner part of the lower lash, and then this, and then this. So like a little ombre situation. I'm such a sucker for a neon lime green, but this does look to be more on the sheer side. That's building it up 3 layers. So it looks fine like that, but it's not like the most vibrant shade ever. Ooh, I like that shade. Okay, but I'm kind of living for this eye look. Okay, last but not least, I'm just going to go ahead and pop this shade on the inner corner. If you've ever popped the Ofra highlighters in your inner corner, that like super just beautiful highlight look, that's exactly what you're going to get from this shade. It seems to be like the same formula. I think it's a little bit too dark for me to highlight with, but you could probably use this as a face highlighter. I might try that today actually, just to stick to only this collection. Sorry, off camera really quickly because my oil heater turned on. It's super loud and I had to stop filming real quick. I just went ahead and finished up the eyes. I used the Better Than Sex mascara from Too Faced and the Ardency inliner in the shade Hot Pink on the lower lash line, just because I thought it would kind of pull the whole look together. And also this liner makes my eyes look extra green. So now let's go ahead and try out the face palette. So I'm going to start off with the lighter bronzer right here. Okay, that's pigmented. But it is blending out pretty well. I definitely could not use the other bronzer shade in here. Got bronzer helmet going on a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm looking at the palette and the blushes, and I'm feeling a little courageous because this is what I would normally use. Like, I love a rose gold blush. I love that shift, but I am really curious to see how this one looks on and if it will work on my skin tone because it's super pigmented. I'm gonna go in with a light hand and just see, because it's such a beautiful, like, that'll be a beautiful summer blush. Just went in with the tiniest amount. It's blending out pretty well. Okay, so I can pull that blush off. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and dip into the other one just a tiny bit for that like shift. Just okay, that got crazy a little bit fast. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and dip into this shade and just highlight the tops of my cheekbones. It looks to be just a little bit too dark for me. You can see the shadow right here. But if you have more of, like, I don't know, any skin tone darker than mine, I think that this would be really pretty. Alright, last but not least, we have the lippy set. So there's what the 3 liquid lipsticks look like. And I've kind of gone back and forth about how I feel about the Ofra liquid lipstick formula, but I haven't been wearing typical liquid lipsticks as much recently, and I've noticed that I have been gravitating more towards this formula just because my lips are always so dry and this doesn't dry them out as much. So I'm going to go ahead and go like lightest to darkest to try them on, and this first shade is Baroque. I literally thought that was barbecue at first.
On the next, there's no heart beating inside your chest. It's vanished into thin air, never to be seen again.
Alright, so there's what that one looks like on, and I do like this color. It's definitely not my typical nude shade. It's kind of like a light pink with a touch of peach to it, so I do think it's pretty, and I feel like this whole collection kind of screams spring, so I could see wearing this more when it's finally not snowing. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and try the shade Vermilion, the red. Okay, that was like the most uneven application ever, and I would never wear this lipstick with this eye look, but I do think it's really, really pretty, super bright orangey red. It actually reminds me so much of the Dose of Colors times Desi and Katie. I think it was called Hot Fire. The sticker actually came off on the bottom, but I feel like these are like identical kind of reds. All right, last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and throw on Ruby. So here's what Ruby looks like, and this one surprised me a little bit because it's pretty obvious. Like, the liquid lipstick in the packaging is way darker than what's on my lips. I feel like it was definitely more on the sheer side, but it is, you know, it's like a pretty ruby shade. It's more of a like deeper pink. It's not something I would really reach for all that often. So I think between the liquid lipsticks, my favorites would definitely be the nude and the red. Rather, I wouldn't see wearing this as often, but I do think it kind of goes more with like the eye look and like pulling in the pink tones and yada yada. There I go again. I can't stop with the yada yada. So I'm gonna zoom you guys out and then I'll tell you my thoughts on the whole collection. Okay, so as far as the cheek palette goes, I did really like this. I feel like it looks really nice on this skin. Like, it's a really beautiful glow. I like that the bronzers have shimmer in them because that's personally my preference. I do feel like this would be probably a little bit better for someone who has a medium skin tone. Like I said, I have to go really light with the blushes, but I can make them work. So I think that this looks, I don't know, I think the skin looks really nice. And then for the eyeshadow palette, I actually really love how this eye look turned out. I feel like it's kind of like dreamy and like grungy colors. I don't know how to describe it, like what I feel like this color scheme is, but I do really like how it turned out. It does take a little bit longer to build up, to blend out. It's not like the super, like the preference that I have for eyeshadows is something that's a little bit more soft and super pigmented, which is not how I would describe these, but you can get them to work, and I think that the finished look is really beautiful, and I do like the overall color scheme. I definitely want to do like an all green blue look, just focusing like these three shades that I did on the lower lash line, doing that like all over the eyelid and all around and like everywhere. And then I do kind of really like this shade in the middle. I think it looks stunning. I put it on my inner corner and underneath my brow bone. It's a nice little highlighter shade. It looks pretty on the skin. It's glowy. It's kind of like their typical highlighter formula. So I think also you could use that, like, it's easy to use this as a highlighter because, you know, even if you have like a little bit of a bigger brush, like, you have plenty of space without getting into the other eyeshadows. As far as the liquid lipsticks go, I feel like if you wanted to buy these, it's definitely just based on preference. It's the typical Ofra formula. They dry down almost all the way, but not completely. You can still feel just a little bit of stickiness, but it's not uncomfortable. And you do get a little bit of transfer, but it also doesn't look super dehydrating on the lips either. Like I said, I do really like the red, and I feel like I love this kind of red, so it's nice to have this as an option, especially if you liked the, I keep losing it, the Hot Fire liquid lipstick or the color of this, but you didn't like the formula of Dose of Colors, because Dose of Colors does dry down a lot more than these, which is personally what I prefer. But if that's not your favorite, then, you know, this is a good option. I believe that you can buy all of these individually, if I'm correct. So that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed trying out the collection with me, and thank you to Ofra for sending this to me and allowing me to try it out and give my honest opinion on it. So that is all. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.